and everything's okay.
Jay,
Dave.
I would like to reinterpret this song.
Yes.
Through the lens of Paul Muad'Dib. Now, there is not just...
Wait. Are you talking about Usul, the base of the pillar?
That's just his siege name, though. So you can't use that. That's our word.
That's true.
He's Paul Muad'Dib. He's not just Paul. He's not just Muad'Dib. That would be offensive to his mother, who gave him the name Paul. So he's Paul Muad'Dib. Yeah. So we talked about the Litany Against Fear. Great little poem/mantra from the Dune series, where you basically realize that fear is a thing. You let it come inside of you, and then you let it pass through you, and only you remain. There's also a line in here about a yellow worm with teeth. So I think there's a Dune connection here, Jay. I think, in fact, this is not about therapy, and that is not a Philly accent. It is perhaps a Fremen accent.
You think? What if the Fremen
talk like Philly people?
Talk like Philly trash, like that would be funny. That would be great. I mean, like, I would love to make like a $200 million version of Dune where that was the reality. Like, everyone's like, hey yo, Paul, try on one of these suits. Yo, you don't have to drink any water. It recycles.
Climb on the worm.
Recycles all the water from your body.
Even your piss and shit.
You don't need to eat hoagies. You just need to wear this suit. Yeah.
Do you remember? This is Baltimore, not Philly, but do you remember we did an episode of Kitchen Nightmares?
Oh yeah.
The flamingo one. I don't remember what it was called, but there was like a flamingo out front. It was on a Baltimore corner. Hun Cafe. Yeah, Hun Cafe.
Yeah.
And
Cafe
like,
Hun.
we were like in like the super white trash side of Baltimore. And like on the first day we were like setting up and like, installing lights and robocams in the restaurant. And like these two girls came over and they were like, it was like the middle of the day. They seemed to be teenagers. They should have been at school. They weren't, but they both came over holding a cup like this big, about like 3 inches tall. And it was full of nacho cheese from the 7-Eleven across the street. And they were sipping out of the cheese. They're like, what y'all doing? And that image just like scarred me.
Well,
it was also Tussie was that episode.
Tussie.
Remember the homeless woman who was always like in our bathrooms? We had like, a little bank of trailer bathrooms for the crew to use. And Tussie was this white homeless woman, and she'd constantly be like sneaking into our bathrooms, probably to shoot up or wash her butt or something. But she was wearing like some sort of skirt or dress. And one day, like, we went out and she was like completely passed out in the middle of the sidewalk in the middle of the day. And like someone from production like tried to help her up. She's like, hey, what are you trying to do? You trying to look at my tussie? You trying to look at my tussie? Was like pulling her skirt down. We're like, we're definitely not trying to look at your tussie. We're just trying to see if you're okay. Maybe get you up off the sidewalk.
That's funny. Well, what I remember, I thought you were going to tell the story about the girls with the strollers.
The selling drugs out of the strollers.
Yeah. So all over this area in Baltimore, which ostensibly was like a quote unquote nice part of Baltimore.
It was up and coming.
Yeah, it was. I guess it was like a hipster area, but like, so there's like girls with like baby strollers everywhere and babies just hanging out on the street all day. We're like, at first you're just like, oh, it's just people with their babies, and then this person hasn't moved for the last hour. They're just on the corner with their baby stroller.
And apparently, there's lots of friends going up and talking to her and shaking her hand.
There's lots of random people going up and interacting with her. But yeah, so we come to find out that they're all selling OxyContin, and they're hiding the Oxys in like the diapers of their babies or something. Like they're hiding the drugs like inside their baby's ass, or like
the perfect crime.
Yeah, and it was
probably
like,
not inside their baby's ass.
Well, probably like just underneath their butts, or I don't know what they. I mean, they're hiding the drugs in the stroller with the baby, and they thought they had like diplomatic immunity. like I don't know what the concept was, because we figured this out just being like shooting a TV show and staring at them through the window. Like, we figured out what their scam was. The cops obviously were hip to it, so like what are the cops gonna be like? Hey, like, you can't search my baby, like, it's like it's junkie rules. You can't search a baby,
A wife can't testify against her husband.
Yeah, exactly.
Some made up law.
Babies are allowed to hold drugs.
He's a minor. What are you gonna do? Arrest him?
If you're under 9 years old, you're allowed to possess illegal drugs.
It was a really charming neighborhood. The nacho cheese out of the cups, the selling drugs out of baby strollers.
That's fun. I remember the sipping. I don't remember seeing that, but I remember that was like word on the street was like there's people sipping nacho cheese outside.
These two girls, they were like 15, and they just like would go back and forth all day from staring in our windows of our restaurant at Gordon and going to 7-Eleven to fill up their nacho cheese cups.
The big thing that we missed when we were in Baltimore, Dave, was we didn't get John Waters to do a cameo. Like, what were they thinking? You're in Baltimore, you're not gonna have John Waters drop by and say hi to Gordon?
I think we got one of the Baltimore Ravens, but it wasn't the same.
I mean, like, John Waters, living legend. Like, I'll tell a John Waters story while we're at it, right?
Sure.
Like, I don't think I've told this, John. So I worked on